Hello, everybody, and welcome to Video Game Rations, a monthly video game club. I'm one of your hosts, Brian Swain.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. I'm Eric Reiger.
And I'm Nolan Lorch.
If you're unfamiliar with us, we're a couple of friends who pick a video game every month and talk about opinions on the game. For the month of March, we played Dead Cells.
Yes, we did. I played it like a full-time job.
You did. Before we get into Dead Cells, we just got to cover some quick housekeeping notes. If you guys could share the podcast, leave us any reviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and your podcast provider of choice. That really helps us out. VideoGameRations.com is the place you can go to find the links to our Twitter, Discord, Gmail, YouTube, all that fun stuff. We really appreciate you guys checking all that out. I heard a funny little tidbit on another podcast I hear on how they were encouraging people to get reviews, and they said threatening your listeners is always good. Like, if we don't get 5 reviews by the next podcast, we're canceling this whole thing.
Oh man,
He said it works every time.
Okay.
He said it works every time. We're not going to do that, though. We're not going to do that.
No.
I don't want to cancel the podcast.
No threats. No
Yeah.
threats on Twitch.
Well, empty threats. You know,
Empty threats are good. Yeah. How you guys doing this beautiful Thursday night?
Oh, it's going good.
I've had no life-changing things happen in my life.
Yeah.
At all.
Congratulations, Eric. Congratulations. Do we
I'm
call
shocked
you?
you're even here.
Do we call you Papa or Dad now, or what do you like? Pops?
Zaddy is fine. I hear that's the cool
Zaddy?
thing.
What is a
I
Zaddy?
hear that's what the kids are calling Pedro Pascal,
Pedro?
and I will.
Okay.
Sexually attractive male. You know, I think it has to do with.
I haven't heard that one yet. That's a new one to me.
I think Cody was talking about it.
Yeah,
Nice.
we were talking about it over some
Yeah.
beers.
Yeah.
I got a 3-week-old upstairs. Fingers crossed he stays asleep for this recording, and I don't have to go change any diapers during it. So, wish me luck.
Good luck, my friend.
Good luck. Good luck to you. Good luck to us. Good luck.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck to everyone.
I've really missed you on the streams.
I know. I tune in, but it's always like I have a baby in my hand. It's 10:30, and you guys are wrapping up.
Yeah. That's true. What's new with you, Nolan?
Oh, not much, man. Not much. Just been gaming. Just gaming a lot.
Just gaming. Nice.
Yeah.
I started a new job myself, so I haven't been gaming it nearly as much as I
know it's been
usually
very
do.
lonely over here.
Yeah.
I'm like, where are my boys at?
Write that into your contract when you got hired? You need gaming time?
I need gaming time. I did not. Yeah. Sorry. Well, you guys ready to talk about some video games?
Always.
I meant to bring this up last month because in January we played Disco Elysium. None of us finished it, but we all vowed to continue playing it. Did anybody make any progress in the last 2 months?
No, I had so much opportunity after finishing it to keep playing it. I just stopped some reason. I don't know why.
You fell off.
I definitely do want to keep playing it, but what did we play last month? Metal Hellsinger?
Metal Hellsinger,
yeah.
That was so fun. Like
I
think I just was playing a lot of that.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
I think I could have fit it in because I played Metal Hellsinger, I think, the least. So I probably could have done it. I failed.
All right. Honesty. I like it. Eric, why don't you tell us what you've been playing this month while you've been busy swaddling and
my God.
burping and
I didn't even think I'd have time to play anything. We had to stay in the hospital for close to a week. We had to try and induce labor for 36 hours. So I played a shit ton of Marvel Snap.
Did you climb the ladder?
I climbed it pretty high, but it's it's just a kind of a shitty thing to think about how much time I put into it and how I didn't max out the ladder. So,
Oh,
and I was playing some like pretty high tier decks, just based on like people's rankings online and stuff.
mm-hmm.
You didn't
and
max the ladder out?
no, it's so hard. It's so hard.
I'm sure it
You
is.
you get to like sections where you just like stall and you don't progress at all. So,
Yeah.
that's my snap update. I won't go into it because I talk about it too much. But
Are there a lot of people with the ladder maxed out? Is that a common thing, or
yeah,
you just,
I mean,
you
people
just thought you would have done it?
people like for the season will be like, this is the deck that I climbed to infinite, which is like the highest ranking or whatever.
Mm.
And then they'll like post and talk about it, and then you'll always see people commenting like, yeah, I did that too.
I see.
So I'm playing like a pretty. The shitty thing is the game is so random. You can't rely on your deck compositions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I'm currently at Diamond, and then there's Vibranium, Omega, Galactic, and Infinite above that.
Vibranium.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Of course there is.
So there's 100 levels, and I'm at 66.
Oh,
Wow.
dang, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't get to 69, huh?
Nope.
Too
Not
bad.
for the podcast.
You failed, man.
Yeah, other than that, I haven't had much time. I actually didn't think I was gonna be able to play Dead Cells as much as I actually did.
Mhm.
Carved out some good chunk of time. So
Nice.
that's pretty much it.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's very cool.
What
Big
about
game.
Oh, you have another game here, Eric. Sorry.
I'm still like chipping away at Chained Echoes. That's still like an easy. I'm like finding these games I can just pick up and put down, which is great, and that's one
Yeah.
of them. And I think I'm at like 15 hours. I don't know what I was at last time, like 12, I think. So I've got maybe 3 hours more into it.
Nice.
Still super fun. I recommend it.
That was the Chrono Trigger one?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But then there's another game that's coming out that looks just like Chrono Trigger.
Nice.
2023, the year of Chrono Triggers.
Yeah. And Octopath Traveler 2 just came out like last month, I think, and people are
Oh, really?
loving that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I wanna get into that. I think Jason Schreier or someone said, "Don't play the first one, just play the second one. It's way better." So,
I've seen that, and I don't think they're tied in together at all. Right? I think it's eight new travelers. So yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
I think I saw Jason Schreier say it's his favorite game of all time. Maybe.
damn.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
Don't quote me on that, but he said something crazy.
Have you have you like looked at the art style and stuff?
Yeah.
Are you? I was watching some videos today of Live Alive, and that's pretty crazy that they're like kind of similar. They got that like 3D,
Yeah.
2D look going for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting look. I'd love to see it on like a big screen TV instead
Yeah.
of my like laptop.
Yeah. I think is that Square Enix who's making all those ones and the Live Alive
Yes.
remake? Yeah. I think they have a division that's just cranking those out, basically. Going for that nostalgia factor.
A nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nolan, what about you? What have you been gaming, my dude?
I have been playing God of War, the 2018 game.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it up on the Christmas Steam sale.
Oh,
And
not even the spring's the most recent Steam sale.
no,
The
I got it
last
on-
season Steam sale.
Yeah, no, it's that I've been holding on to it for a while,
Right.
and
Right.
I did try playing it on the Steam Deck when I first got it, and it didn't run very good. Like it
Mhm.
would have been fine. I could have played it, but it just looked too crunchy.
Yeah.
And like there's so much like I don't mind that too much, but with the amount of like foliage and detail in the background and stuff, it just really was like noisy.
Mm.
And I just didn't find it to like be worth it.
Right.
So, after I kind of got through a lot of Dead Cell time, I was like, I should finally play this game. And I put in some serious time this week.
Yeah. Just this week.
Yeah. Yeah. I just started on Monday and I'm just like, that's all I've been really playing. So
nice.
It's really good though. It's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like maybe I'm on the back half now. It's pretty long.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. I did have a hard time with the controls actually.
Like the parry and stuff, or just getting into it?
No, well, yeah, I was just hitting all the wrong buttons because they're all slightly different from Elden Ring game and Dark Souls games.
Yeah.
Like I really want my roll to be on B, but it's on A, and I just was for like the first night I was playing it, I just was messing up all of my moves, but I got the hang of it now.
Why not just remap those bad boys?
Well, so I tried remapping it on the PC, and it was blocked out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think you can do remap the keyboard and mouse, but it wasn't letting me on the PC or the Xbox controller. So,
ooh, maybe you have to have a PlayStation controller. Maybe they
maybe.
What if?
That's how they get you.
They sabotaged it. Am I right?
That'd be a real dick move.
I mean, I could make my own Steam profile probably and do it that way, but I just haven't messed with it.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. I'll just like learn how to play it. So,
have you tried on the Steam Deck?
Yeah. It doesn't run very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You missed that whole part of the conversation. You were even here.
Sorry.
You managing chat.
He was getting a baby update, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my brains all over the place.
It's
No
cool.
worries.
It's cool. No,
I really want to know about that baby.
The boy?
God of War. Yeah, the boy.
The boy. Tell me about the boy.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. Atreus?
Atreus.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Atreyu.
Yeah. I've been taking. I'm probably going to be putting a lot more time into it. Like I know you can beat it in like 30 hours or something like that, but I've been really enjoying all of the side stuff and finding like Norse mythology is so cool. Like the stories are cool, and you get a lot of extra lore bits like when you do all the side quest stuff. And I've just been enjoying like listening to the head that is on your waist talk about all of the like.
I forgot about the head.
Like how much of an asshole Odin is and stuff. And
yeah,
it's good. It's really good.
I love when you get in and out of boats and he like stops his story and then kind of starts it back up.
Yeah, he's like later. Yeah, it's good. It's super fun. I'm glad I'm finally playing it. So
what do you think of the
5 years?
What do you think of the one continuous camera shot that they went for?
It's cool. It's cool.
I remember people's minds were blown when it came out.
Yeah,
it is funny when they try to transition to a spot and the camera like zooms past the characters and stuff. It's pretty crazy to think about.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, it's awesome. I mean, it's not something that I'm like really actively thinking about now that I'm like in it, but especially in the beginning, like I feel like with just how slow the intro is, like they really want you to like see those transitions and stuff. So
yeah,
it's cool. I mean, the graphics look really good. It's starting to see its age a little bit. Like I can tell that it's 5 years old now, especially in the faces. Like, except for Kratos' face, like they do like an insane. They must have like really upped the amount of polygons on that guy's face because it's very emotive.
Kratos' face sounds like an insult.
I have been messing with the photo mode too because they have a ton of goofy facial expressions for Kratos, which is really fun. And you can, since the camera is all in game, like you can pause during cutscenes. So like during really emotional moments, I like to just pause and then like make him have like a really annoyed face. It's fun. It's fun to play with. So
one thing that I found a little weird in the newer one, or I wish they would have done something a little bit different, is like the big boss fight still having the quick time events in there.
Oh yeah.
I just don't really. I'd rather just have it play out than have to like jam a bunch of buttons and stuff.
Same. There's like a part at the beginning where you have to reach your hands into a boar and like
oh yeah,
for the witch, you're helping the witch, and it's like put your hand in there, and it's like right trigger, like a right trigger blinks on screen, and it's like now your other one left trigger.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh god, like just play a cutscene.
Right. Yeah.
Like I honestly don't mind QuickTime like button things in fights, like if it's a time thing. But it's just like the F for respect kind of thing idea in Call of Duty is so lame.
Yeah.
It really like completely stops the momentum of a cutscene, you know?
I wonder how much they kept of that stuff in Ragnarok, if it's still there or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think there's a ton in the first one though.
No,
there's not a ton, but it's just like pops up in the boss fights, which is what a lot of the older God of War games like were like.
Yeah,
boss fights
so
were
many.
almost all.
Like every time you have to lift something heavier than Kratos can lift, you have to slam the B button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, do we need to do this? I just watched him split a mountain. Like,
yeah. Maybe just hold it down instead of just jamming it as fast as possible.
Yeah. It's not too egregious in that game though, but yeah, it's still definitely there. It almost feels like an intentional throwback.
Yes, that's what I don't care for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mentioned, got a new job, so I haven't been gaming that much besides Dead Cells. I honestly think the only other game I played this month was the Diablo 4 open beta from last weekend, which the three of us and our buddy Chris got into. Maxed out level 20, got that wolf pup.
Well, not maxed out.
Sorry. Well, I got to level 20. Got
level 20.
Yeah,
Just got
20,
that sweet
25 is the max. I haven't played much Diablo before. I don't have a deep Diablo history, so this was my first time really dabbling and getting in. It was really fun. I get the loop. I see why people really like hopping in those dungeons and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing more in June. I want to try out some of the other characters and stuff. We probably played it for like 6 or 7, maybe 8 hours between Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. I'm curious about if they're going to have randomized level stuff. That stuff, it felt really mapped out in the demo. But maybe that's just me.
You want some procedural generated dungeons or something?
Yeah, that's mainly like Diablo's usually like that. Each dungeon's different.
Yeah. Maybe
I'm sure it will.
The later stuff or
it also seems like there's a lot more dungeons though.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's less random and more scripted, but the amount of dungeons on just that first map there's like 20 or 30 of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like usually there's like 5 or so per like a biome or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. The entirety of Act 1 was open, but there was still a lot of blocked off areas, and I feel like there was a ton of content to that beta. And there was like a world boss too that people were getting after. But it was definitely a beta. There was a lot of bugs and slowdowns and stuff, but
Oh yeah. It's not. I was watching some YouTube afterwards, and sounds like there's a lot of like people like main like content creators who played Diablo, and there was a bunch of stuff that they didn't really like with it, but with like the later progression, I guess. So
I'm
don't
sure
know.
there's a lot of Diablo heads getting in there.
Oh yeah, as a casual, like just being able to roam around with your buddies and just demolish people, it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Eric, what did you think? You're an OG Diablo boy.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I can't speak to the older ones as much, like what's changed throughout all these. I never like pick through them with a fine tooth comb, but they're super fun. I'm interested in this skill tree too, because once I start climbing it, I was realizing you can do so many builds with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just putting stuff points into like my earlier level stuff just to get it a little bit more powerful, just to grind through. But yeah, it seemed like there's a lot of different things that you could do with it that could be
After we were done playing, I went back with the barbarian and like spent some more time in the skill tree and was really trying to like synergize my skills more, because I was just not doing that when we were playing, and it doesn't make a huge difference in like your first playthrough, especially in the first bio or like the first level, but still I was doing a lot more damage. Like on some of those dungeon bosses are pretty hard, and they can take a long time if you're not dealing like a ton of damage. So
yeah,
I more just wanted to speed up
even
those boss fights.
Yeah, even the items play so much into build too, and I was getting items that gave me abilities that I wasn't leveling up at all.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There's definitely some spongy bosses.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, after the stream, Eric and Chris, you both had like reached your level 20, so you both signed off. And Brian was like so close, but you could feel the anguish in his voice that we had to fight like one more boss. He's like, "Come on, just give me this stupid thing." It was good.
It was like another
fun.
45 or 50 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Made for a very early Monday morning.
Yeah, it helps with some of the high level kind of helping on that stuff.
Are you? Do you think you're gonna pick it up?
I don't. I want to. I just don't know if I'll do it right away. It'll probably be a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping it's gonna hit Game Pass, and that'll be my picking it up. You know, there's just so many games coming out. That game comes out middle of June-ish, I want to say.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have the Tears of the Kingdom to play May 12th. Redfall is the week before that. You know, there's a lot of video games.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
it's also $70 for the base version, which is
I
know that's like kind of the price tag now, but doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah. Plus, I don't know. I don't feel like I need to get in day one. You know, I can wait till some of the kinks are ironed out.
Kinks are worked out. Yeah.
So
cool.
We'll see.
It's fun.
Yeah, it was very fun. Normally we dive into a little bit of gaming news that piqued our interest this month, but we're a video game club podcast that is inspired by book clubs, and we actually have a book to check out. Retro Gaming, a bite-sized history of video games, was actually sent to us by Mike Diver and company, the author. It's a cool little book. Let me read the book description here. Take a trip down memory lane with retro gaming and relive the glory days,
Oh my God.
and not so glory days of your old retro tech favorites. Published in paperback to tie in with 50 years of console gaming, retro gaming is packed with all the characters, games, consoles, and franchises you used to love and probably still do. This is a compact conversational compendium of all-time highs, alongside just a handful of humorous, in hindsight, lows from decades of arcade, computer, console, and handheld hits. The book runs $16.99. It's a really good little like coffee table book that has a lot of like cool insight, a lot of like really nice pictures. Brief.
You can put it next to all your amiibos.
Yeah, your amiibos. Brief descriptions of some of the stuff. So the introduction kind of teases that. You know, it's a good way to look at like some of the stuff that were your favorites and kind of relive those days. So that's how I went about it. So I started off checking out the NES section. And they actually have a really good NES accessories. And there is some things that I'd never heard of before. There is the Konami laser scope. Have you heard of this one? Let me
tell me all about this Konami laser scope.
I do love laser scope. Is it like the light gun attachment?
No. Well, it's a head-mounted light gun designed for one game in particular, Laser Invasion, but it worked with any light gun title, including Duck Hunt. It says,
gaming.
Is it useful? It says it's pretty much the opposite. It's voice activated, but with an awful microphone. The laser scope was so junk that only succeeded in making the users look very, very silly. And then there's another one called the U-Force, which is an infrared sensor meant to interpret hand motions, playing without touching anything, making you the controller.
Of course.
And this is a crazy looking doodad. I don't really even understand how it works just from
looks
looking
like
at
Wiimotes hanging on a
basically
a pole.
Basically. Another thing that I found cool in the NES section is that they made you guys probably heard of the top loading NES. Yeah. Okay. This thing ran in Japan until 2003.
Huh.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So the lifespan of the NES was 20 years.
Man.
Whoa. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. And my last little fun fact, I checked out the Game Boy section, which has like, if you guys remember the OG Game Boy, and then there was like,
all that.
There was like a Game Boy Light, the Game Boy Color, of course, the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. What was the cube one? Was that the light?
The cube
square one
was the Game Boy Advance SP, I think. The one that folded. It was like a clamshell one.
Yeah.
That was a Game Boy Advance. But here's where what I find interesting. So the Game Boy Advance was the last one in the Game Boy series. So even that clamshell Game Boy could play every Game Boy cartridge dating back to 1989. So if you had one of those, it could play. It was backwards compatible from 1989 to 2010.
Weren't they all? Couldn't the Advance play the old ones too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That was the cool thing about Nintendo, was just like.
That was the cool thing. Thank you, Eric. That was the cool thing. Backwards compatibility. Right into my hands. Right into my hands. Yep. Back when Nintendo cared.
I do have
tried to resell you and everything.
I do have a little trivia from the book, though. If you guys want to try and guess the code name for Crash Bandicoot, before Crash Bandicoot was a thing, Sony was trying to figure out a mascot, like a platform mascot, like all the other companies, and it has a code name. It's pretty good. Any guesses?
I got nothing.
I got nothing. Is it Taz? Is it just Taz?
Nope. It's Sonic's ass. Was a reference to its ambitious.
Sonic's ass.
It was reference to his ambitions, and because the camera was positioned behind Crash's ass, so they were trying to make it like Sonic character, but Sonic's ass.
Nice.
I don't really have anything too specific, but I really did like how the book is broken down like between each system and has kind of like trivia in like between sections. Like all of the different jobs of Mario.
Oh yeah.
And then there's like a list of TV movie tie-ins and how many games they made for each. Like there's like 9 Mighty Morphin Power Ranger games or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Transformers, there's 31 games or something, you know, like.
My God, I think I own 2 Mighty Morphin Power Ranger games growing up.
I do remember playing like the Sega one. It was awesome. But I mostly stuck to the back half because I've been playing so much like PS2 and GameCube and stuff. And there was something on the PlayStation. I guess I didn't really realize that the PlayStation was originally like a Nintendo tie-in.
Oh yeah.
And then they like split because of they wanted to make like a CD-ROM. Yeah, they beefed. Yeah. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So, and I thought the book would be mostly just about like specifically about the games, and there's just a lot of really cool like weird consoles in there that I never have heard of. And and they talk about all the peripherals, and like the 32X is for the Sega Genesis is that like it's like a big cartridge that plugs in and turns it into like a 32-bit system.
Have you seen the video of someone putting all the Sega accessories together?
Yeah, it's so good. We actually had a 32X growing up, and all we had for it was like Virtual Fighter, which is an awesome game. But yeah, it was cool. It's a cool book.
I was going to bring up the Sega section too, just because the amount of things like that either attached to the bottom or the top or whatever, like it has so many peripherals is so funny.
Yeah. Also, the book goes all the way to the first Xbox, and it's kind of, I just don't think of that as like, when you say retro games, I think of like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, like even like Nintendo 64 and PlayStation 1, but I guess I just never really thought of like GameCube and PS2 and Xboxes like retro. And it's just like,
now we're old.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah. What do you think? It's probably like 2 or 3 generations old, maybe is considered probably retro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Something.
Yeah. Over 20 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe it's considered retro.
There was also in the handheld section, there was a really great like little section of failed handhelds. There are some crazy looking handhelds that are in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I think that's my favorite part.
I really like the accessories.
There's a big section about like early, like between like the Commodore and like the Nintendo. There's like the Z3, which is like a British, it's where like Elite was on, and I think the ZX Spectrum, which I have ROM of like an emulator of that, and I've never like used it, so it was cool reading about it. So
nice.
Yeah.
I also really like seeing the alternate covers for different countries and stuff. Like they have a lot of the Japanese and European box arts for a lot of these things. And even like the other Super Nintendos and NES versions and all that stuff is just really cool to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well,
actually, one more thing. I also have, let me just flip to it real quick. So in the Atari section, the faux wood fronted launch model is like also known as the Heavy Sixer. And I have that, and I just thought it was kind of cool. I was like, never heard that before.
I think
we had that too.
They came out with a Lego version of that one recently.
Oh, really?
It sold better than the new Atari system they were trying to make.
It never came out. They canceled it, I think. Yeah. The other one that they came out with was coined the Darth Vader. So, yeah, good.
Nice.
Lots of tidbits.
I love all the like codename stuff systems that will never see the light of day, even though someone leaks Sonic's ass.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Crash should have been named Sonic's ass.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just saying.
so funny on how some of this stuff comes to be. Like we've been talking about the ILM show. You know, and like half the stuff is like, oh yeah, I ran into this dude and I said, hey, you want to work on Star Wars stuff? And they were like, yeah. And then, you know, they made some of like the most iconic stuff ever made. Another one.
My buddy James Cameron. He'll make a movie for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The Kirby's Dreamland section was pretty funny too. Kirby was like just sketches like a placeholder character, and they're like, well, we like this.
Really?
Yeah, we like this Kirby. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The draft was always meant to be replaced by a more complex character, but Sakurai fell in love with his rotund creation. Kirby was born. Yeah.
Oh, good thing it wasn't a rhombus.
Yeah. Very cool stuff. Retro Gaming, a bite-sized history of video games. Thank you for sending this to us.
Yeah, thank you.
Mike Diver and team. We appreciate it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That brings us to the old game of the show, Dead Cells.
Oh,
You ready to talk about this, Nolan?
oh, I'm so ready.
A roguelike Metroidvania game originally released August 7, 2018. The player controls a prisoner, an amorphous creature that can possess human corpses. The prisoner explores a fictional island infested with mutated monsters, which must be traversed so the prisoner can kill the island's king. This is developed and published by Motion Twin, nominated for Best Indie and Best Action Game.
Yeah.
It's got over 5 million copies sold as of March 2021, which is huge for an indie game.
That is huge.
Metacritic is at an 89. One of the reasons we wanted to play this too is that brand new Castlevania or Return to Castlevania DLC came out earlier this month. I'll kick it off first. I played it probably 50-50 between the Steam Deck and the PC. Well, probably more on the Steam Deck, actually. Difficulty, I just played it on normal. My time played is about 10.5 hours. I have not beaten the final boss yet. So there's that. What about you, Nolan? Oh, yeah, I got to him once and I got so freaking close. His health bar was so low. The final stages are insane. I was just trying to do something that you kind of have to do before an explosion goes off, and I got caught. And I actually, that reminds me of a glitch I had, Nolan. I'll jot that down later.
Sweet.
For later. But yeah, I got to him. I only got to him once though. So
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you?
Did you get into the Castlevania DLC at all?
No. I wanted to get through. I wanted to play like a majority of the game, and I 10.5 hours. I feel like I've barely even scratched the surface of what's possible in this game.
Yeah.
And the DLC, this might have been a mistake too. All the DLC was on sale on Steam recently for like $15, and I was like, oh, I might as well do it. And it's just there's just so many more biomes and choices, and I feel like I'm getting like kind of wrapped up in some of that exploration stuff, and like there's some of the skill runes that I don't even have yet. So
yeah, yep.
There's a lot to see and do. There's a lot to see.
There's so much to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I played it on the PC and Switch and the Steam Deck. I also bought it when it first came out on the Switch, and that's where like I originally played it.
Gotcha.
And according to my Steam, I've played like over 40 hours on Steam.
Woo!
And then I've probably put another 5 to 10 hours on the old Switch. So I'm sitting somewhere in like the 50 range And I still also have so much to do in the game. It's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
With all the DLCs and stuff. But I did beat the main boss, so I've done like a full run, and I got through the Castlevania DLC, which is
Nice.
pretty fun. Which, yeah, and I played a bunch on this the Steam Deck, but actually playing on the big screen where I had most of my most successful
The big screen
runs,
The whole
because
big screen.
it can get a little intense, especially in those later biomes. Like things are attacking you from all directions. So
yeah.
yeah,
How long to beat has the playtime is 14 hours for the main story.
14 hours.
Yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm nowhere close to that, but like I said, I'm probably getting caught up in the DLCs.
I've also really gone through a lot of the DLC stuff. Like I made it to a separate boss fight for the Lighthouse DLC, and I got destroyed, and I've never returned. But I've gone to most of the biomes on the map. So yeah, I think there's only 2 that I've yet to go to, and I think those are locked until you like progress in the like there's like an overarching story that is happening, like the true ending, you know. So
yeah, I see.
but yeah,
What
about you, Eric?
I didn't know if I was gonna have time to play this at all, and so I didn't buy it.
Why? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't buy any of it, and then it's on Game Pass, so I played primarily on Game Pass. Didn't get it set up on my Steam Deck in time, so that's just kind of sitting over in the corner getting some dust on it, so I need to do that sometime. But it says I played for 19 hours.
Okay.
I don't know how that's possible.
Just
But
Well,
leave that
you probably
Xbox
left
running.
it on like you like to do.
Yeah, well, sometimes I would load it up, have to run and do a baby thing, come back, pop in. It was great. But then also sometimes my Xbox would time out because I left it on so long. And then when I came back, it would have to restart the game. So my like run was messed up sometimes. And that I had it downloaded. I wasn't playing on the cloud. So I think that just might have been a fluke every so often. But controller, 19 hours, and on the whatever the normal difficulty is.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was going to say something about the difficulty real quick, because the difficulty after you beat the boss, you unlock an item that increases the difficulty.
Oh, right.
And then there's like 5 levels of that you have to get through that just like continue to increase the difficulty and open up more like lore stuff, I guess. I'm only through it once, so I only have like the first boss cell that you get, but there is a ton of accessibility options in this game. And sometimes like when games come out, they like if you turn on like an accessibility option, it will like not allow you to get achievements and stuff. But they don't really, they do that with certain stuff, but not all of it. So you can still kind of cater, like make it a little easier if you want. And I don't know, I just thought that was really cool.
Nice.
There's something like that where you can buy the upgrades in the beginning.
Yeah,
and it says you can't do the boss stuff.
Right. You don't get boss cells if you have the aspects on. There's like a vendor that has like aspects that you can buy. If you complete a run, you don't get a boss cell after you beat the bosses, which is what you need to kind of like progress into the harder difficulties. So, but yeah.
Nice.
So I didn't mess with any of those options really, but I skimmed through them and I was just like, wow, you can really like customize your game, which is cool. So.
Yeah, when I went to look at my stats today, it said continue on normal difficulty or play custom mode.
Yeah.
So
well, there's a lot of in the custom mode, you can turn off a bunch of like if you've unlocked weapons or stuff that you don't want to show up in your like the rotation of weapons, you can just turn them off in custom mode, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there's so many.
Yeah.
Nolan, you want to fill us in on the story?
Yeah,
story man.
I did not watch a 45-minute video on YouTube this time around. So you're a prisoner. I know. I should have. You like show up in a prison. You're the beheaded. So you're just kind of like a smoke man ghost character who possesses a body and you don't know what happened. And as you kind of go through the game, you're coming across little lore rooms in each biome. And that kind of helps fill in the story about there's like a king. There was like a plague that was happening on this island. And the king, I guess he was some sort of tyrant. And
damn tyrants.
Just started like locking. If you got sick, you just like got locked up. And there's also like some necromancers that are experimenting on people in certain biomes, and that kind of plays into your background. But that's kind of all I got. Like, okay. It's a little scattered out.
It's scattered. It's there.
So there's cults. There's all sorts of crazy shit. There's some guy who lives in a clock tower, and I don't know if he's trying to fix the island or what, but yeah, you fight him. So I don't know. Every time he's like, this isn't going to end well. I'm like, all right, cool, man.
Yeah. So. And I feel like depending on which biomes you go to like if you're sticking with one route or not diverging frequently, you might not progress a story for like a good while. So
yeah, seriously.
It's kind of hard to keep track of, I thought. And it's not the main point of the game, really.
No.
The gameplay is the gameplay is the main point of the game.
Yes, exactly.
There's so much of those like little story beats throughout that are so like weird, and the main character is so obnoxious towards them.
Yes, he is obnoxious towards them.
He just gives his thumbs up. It's like,
yeah. He does like a lean back. It's like a very sarcastic thumbs up.
He's super dismissive, which makes me like, well, I guess I don't really give a fuck about this. Yeah. So, he's basically the what's that Atomic Heart protagonist? If he was in this game and silent. So,
so one other thing too that we're going to talk about this a bit later, but there's a lot of tie-ins to other indie titles, and I don't know all the references. Like a lot of them I do. I'm like, oh, this is Hyper Light Drifter. This is Hotline Miami or whatever. But some of them I'm like, is this supposed to be for a different game, or is this supposed to be part of the Dead Cells lore?
Yeah, for sure.
You're talking about outfits there, Brian?
Oh my God, here we go. I hit the
you
hit the magic word.
Yep. Oh man, I was like
double jeopardy.
I don't know if he's gonna bring a snack this month, and I was just
what do you got?
I got nothing. No snacks.
I thought you were prepared for my failed snack.
No. I'm excited.
All right, I got Pepperidge Farm goldfish baked crackers, but the twist here is their colors, all different colors of the rainbow.
Like the different outfits.
Like all the different outfits.
There are so many.
I don't understand why the colors. It just says colors sourced from plants. So this must be the
do they
natural,
taste
different? No artificial flavors or preservatives.
But they're all cheddar flavored, so it's just like they just got the dyes from plants, basically.
Yeah, one's a potato, one's a carrot or something.
Right. Okay. Very nice.
I'm gonna pop one in. Hold on. I do
Yes.
have some loaded pizza flavored ones in the
let's get
cabinet
them.
though that I are very.
The pizza ones. Let's get what's the bouquet?
They smell exactly the same.
Uh-huh.
And just verify that I'm choosing a different color here. Yeah.
Okay.
What color is that? Beet flavored?
Beef. Did you say beef or beet?
Beet.
They do kind of taste a little less cheddary than I expected, but they are still
More
taste
veggie
like-
flavored.
yeah.
They're like veggie chips.
Goldfish are great.
Nice.
Underrated, I think.
Underrated? Really?
Underrated, yeah.
I feel like it's a popular snack, but
Maybe for
I guess
children,
I don't eat them very often, but yeah,
They're in a weird aisle. They're not like
it's more of a kid thing.
They're not
Right.
by the crackers and stuff.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They're by like the snacks, which is like nuts and popcorn.
I see.
So like the crackers is really, the
Shit.
wheat thins and all the Triscuits and stuff.
Cheez-Its and yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love Cheez-Its so
The
much.
goldfish just getting stuck in its peanut aisle,
If you so Trader Joe's actually has a goldfish like cracker. It's a rocket ship. So, it looks a lot like a goldfish. But I think they're actually better.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
So next time you're at Trader Joe's, check those out.
I will do that.
Do you guys get them frequently?
We don't. Maya doesn't really like them. So
Oh, bummer.
yeah.
I was gonna say next time I come over, I'll just eat them at your house.
Yeah. Well, we have some here now. I haven't
Ooh.
tried them in a couple weeks, so maybe I'll give some to her tomorrow.
I want to do a side by side taste test.
Okay.
Does she like goldfish?
No, I mean, there's no reason to
have you
have
tried?
the rocket ones and the goldfish.
Well, now I'm curious if she has a
Go.
if she has a preference.
Yeah, you should make her do a blind taste test.
You bring the goldfish. I'll have the rocket chips.
Okay. This is good.
We should do a kid's blind taste test. It's always a dog.
Yeah.
Soak them in water for a little bit so they lose their shape.
You've been eating broccoli the whole time.
We just munch them up, crunch them.
Gosh.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good snack. This is the only thing that's really sucks about doing the podcast online
Oh yeah, remote.
is that we don't get access to these snacks.
Yeah. This will probably sit in my pantry for a long time. So just let me know when you're over.
I understood we were going to be shipped our snacks.
Oh,
no.
I like that. I like that a lot.
If Pepperidge Farm wants to sponsor this, I will ship everyone.
Some
Okay, we
some
need
goldfish.
to get food sponsors.
Well, I guess we might as well talk about the costumes then, and the art design and music, since that just flowed so beautifully together.
Yeah.
Nolan, you spent a lot of your what was the currency?
My cells?
Your cells
Yes.
on costumes.
It's true. I should have been focusing on mutations, and for the first 20 hours of the game, I was like, more costumes.
You had them almost all unlocked.
I did not have I had a lot, but there is so many.
How many?
There's
are there?
I think there's not
There's a shit ton.
each enemy drops a color, I think.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure. And then there's all of the characters that you can get from
Oh, I'm not even gonna count this.
DLC. Yeah, there's a lot.
It's not a numbered list. So-
Yeah. It's
They
huge.
don't have a numbered list? Jeez.
Yeah. There's so many. But I did have a huge chunk of them. And
Nice.
yeah, they're great. It's stupid, but I'm like I got to change my look every couple runs, I got the Half-Life one really early, so
Mhm.
orange and black, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I
I had
got
a huge problem with one outfit, and I can get
Which
into
one
it
was
after.
it?
The Shovel Knight one.
Oh,
His big head
Mhm.
made me feel like the flow of the character wasn't what I was used to.
Mm.
right. Yeah, he is shorter,
Yeah, it's
which
weird.
is weird. Yeah. I had a hard time with the Hotline Miami character. Like he got
that's the one I'm
lost.
playing right now.
Oh, nice. I had a hard time tracking him with the background for some reason. But I like the Risk of Rain Spaceman one. That one's really good. And then what was the other one? Oh, the Castlevania DLC ones are really good because you unlock like all the main characters.
Do you have to buy those, or is they just unlocked right away?
No, you have to buy the blueprints. Well, actually, after you beat it, you get one.
You got one, yeah.
Yeah. If you want to play as like Alucard or whatever, the vampire, like Dracula's son, you have to pay for that one. And I mean, you can pay for him pretty quick. If like you can get it in one run if you make it all the way to the end. It's just, there's so many like other things you should be spending your cells on.
Yeah. I love how silly Alucard is as a name. It's just Dracula backwards. You're like me naming my kid Sirky.
Yeah, that's not a bad name.
Sirky.
I don't hate it. If you get a dog, you should name it Sirky.
Yeah, it's just my name backwards.
Sir.
Yeah. Were there any, did you unlock any, or was there any that you ran with? Or
I did. I didn't really mess with them too much. I would look at them, but I wanted to spend my cells on more useful stuff, like upgrading my flask. I just got my flask to level 4. And then I've been unlocking some other weapons and stuff. So
yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm looking at the list of outfits though, and there's some for like the kind of pixel art style. They have a crazy amount of variations and stuff that they got, but they also get like just goofy with it because there's also just a snowman.
Yeah,
Santa Claus
and Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, there's also the Steam Workshop works for this game. So you can get all sorts of mods just from Steam, like their store. So I got one that replaced like the 4 first skins with all the Ninja Turtles. And I watched like the YouTube video of it, like the preview of it, and they were really, really good. Like a really cool mod. And I installed it, and unfortunately it bricked every time I would try to change to one, it would stop working. And I think it's just because of when the DLC came out, they released a new version and something was wrong with it. But
gotcha.
Yeah, there's a ton of other skins you can do through the Steam Workshop.
That's cool.
That's pretty cool. Like one of the bosses was replaced with like Attack on Titan, like the Attack on Titan main character, like when he's in his giant form, which is pretty cool. So I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, you can really make it look like whatever you want.
Yeah. So along with the art style, there's very unique biomes that you progress through as you go through the game. Basically, the progress is set up in stages, and as you get through this stage, there's kind of branching paths and exits that you can use to get through different stages. So there's kind of main ones, and then there's even optional stages, and then you get into the DLC, which adds additional stages. And I think you get up to, we are looking at stage 5, second boss, 6th stage, 3rd boss, 7th stage. Okay, so there's 7 stages, all with different biome possibilities, which can be very unique and different from each other. And each have like their own art style and enemy types. From some of them are unique to the certain biomes too, and some of them you'll see
multiple versions.
Yeah. Yeah. Any biomes or areas stand out to you guys that you've really liked from either the DLC or the main game?
I had a hard time with the High Castle ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like those ones were the hardest for me. I just kind of wrote down each time I went to a new biome.
Mm-hmm.
But I was pretty limited because I didn't have the DLC. There was two areas I couldn't get to. There was the dilapidated what is it, the Rose place. I wrote it down.
Dilapidated Arbitorium.
Yeah, that's one. I couldn't go there. And then I couldn't go to another one that was DLC. So I don't know how much those were different. So I was kind of just stuck in like the sewers,
right?
And
the Stilt Village or whatever.
Stilt Village.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another, like, when you keep going down lower in the sewers, there's a few, like the crypts. And there's another one where you have to like turn the lights on the whole time.
Yeah, that one was hard.
Yeah.
That one's tough, and that one has some really nasty guys in it.
I just did that one on my last run. I don't remember what that one was called though.
I had a hard time keeping track of the actual locations.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know about that map thing until I watched you guys stream.
I think that one is the Forgotten Sepulcher or something.
Yeah, that is it. That is it. That area was the hardest one for me. Like, I don't think I made it through there.
I was out of revives basically, and I just had to run and sprint like to the end, and I got like the first exit I saw, I took it and got out.
I booked it in that section as much as I could just to get to the save, not the save points, but the warp pads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I did like that one was I liked that I liked that one because it had like an interesting mechanic tied with it.
Yeah. That was cool.
And there was a couple others that also had that, and those, like, I think most of them are in the DLCs, so you may not have been able to get to them.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the Lighthouse DLC, there's like a whole ship that you have to clear out and find like maps and stuff, and that one was really cool. I think my favorite one is the Undying Shores.
Mm-hmm.
Which is part of the Fatal Falls DLC. But that is the one that it has like a lot to, like, the lore of that level has a lot to do with your like how you became like who you are in the game. And I just thought it had besides like the aesthetic, you're kind of like working your way down the cliffside, which is really cool. And but there's like, you're fighting these like big necromancer guys that have been experimenting on people on the island, and you're fighting like other people. Like, there's other guys that look like you that you're fighting. And it like aesthetically just looked really cool, and like had the most lore that I could like see. So it was always like a really fun map to play. So, and then also just like the Castlevania DLC was just all really cool.
So good.
So, yeah.
I think I just overall like the art style in the more outdoor levels, because it kind of, you go between like indoors and outdoors, and there's like a lot of cool like light effects that happen. And just the backgrounds, of course, are a lot more interesting. You kind of get like that parallaxing background effect going on.
Yeah.
As you're going through the level. And especially even the first, the ramparts, like how you're like on top, and then you have to go down. Like you explore down a lot and then come back up to the top of the castle. Like, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Play on stuff, and the Stilt Village too, even though it's kind of like more of like a dusk type of scene. You're going like in and out of doors a lot.
Yeah.
So just anything that had more interesting, like the toxic sewer, like I just did. I didn't like the enemy types in that one, but also like
Yeah.
I was just like, bleh, it's
Yeah,
just,
there's really
That's
there's
the one that
nothing
spits a
in
bunch
that.
of eggs, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
What's the other, like the ancient sewer, I think is the other one that you can get to from the sewer.
yeah,
That one is like a little more interesting because it's like there's a more of a focus on traps and like like it feels more of like a linear path
hmm
but the sewers is just like a massive grid and you can go up and down, like it's so monotonous. And yeah, I think that's probably my least favorite biome,
yeah.
just because it's just
What's
not
the
very
main
like
path one where you
interesting.
can only go down? Like it's straight. It's before you get to like the not the high tower, but the Black Bridge.
Oh, that's the ramparts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, I found that place so boring.
Oh,
Or
what?
wait, is it the one where you're on top of like the buildings, or the one right before that, like the second biome?
The one
that you
right
go
before
to?
it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You're not on top of the buildings. You're on the ground
Yeah.
level.
That's
and you
the
can only-
Promenade
you-
of the Condemned.
yeah.
I hated that one.
Yeah. That one is
'Cause I
that
felt
one
you're
got
just
pretty
going-
boring.
You're going straight. You could just run straight across and you'd be done with it.
Basically.
But if you go down, you can like explore a little bit. I just thought it was not very inventive.
So
That
the,
was like the
second
most-
stage not hitting for us.
No. It's probably because I played it it's probably, I mean, besides like the starting section,
Yeah.
it's probably my second most played area. So you just go through it so many times, and like Eric was saying, there's just not that much. There's not very interesting stuff there. So
Yeah. For sure.
But-
for sure.
Yeah.
Which brings me also to the stats in the game. There's a character you can visit that has all sorts of crazy stats. He can tell you your upgrade progress, your weapons, skills, mutations, total number of games. For me, 21. Biomes. It tells you how many times you visited each biome, even, which is pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
Uh-huh. So the Promenade of the Condemned, I visited 6 times. Black Bridge 6 times, Sewer 6 times. A lot of these ones only once in the later areas. The bank, holy crap! What a weird place.
There's a bank.
Yeah, there's a bank.
The bank
man.
is hard. It's so hard.
I only visited it once.
There's I don't know if this is a DLC level, but there's one called the Distillery, I think. Also really hard. It feels like you're playing Donkey Kong, like the original like Donkey Kong.
Oh yeah.
Where you're Mario going up, because every enemy is just throwing big barrels that explode.
Oh geez.
And yeah, it was really tough.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to one of the videos I watch, has one of the best traps you can get if you can get through it. They say go there, get it, and don't ever come back.
Nice.
So yeah, I do have one more level I want to talk about real quick.
Fire away.
So in the Lighthouse DLC, you go to this lighthouse boss fight basically, and in Ori, that tree level where you're climbing the tree and it's filling up with water and you have to like platform up it, and
I remember.
it's really difficult.
Yep.
This is like that, but as you're doing it, there's two bosses that you're fighting at the same time, and they're like teleporting and chasing you up of it.
Wow.
And it was really cool, but
that
they
sounds hard.
just absolutely wrecked me. So
Bummer.
yeah, that's the next path I'm going down. But yeah, it's a cool level. Just it reminded me of Ori when I was playing it.
Yeah. Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. All right. So a little bit we've talked about this a little bit about the DLCs and some of the stuff that's been tied into the game. But one of the things about the development I wanted to bring up that I found in the wiki as we were doing some research on this game is that this was originally an early access game. So I'm going to read a little synopsis from Wikipedia here. Motion Twin opted to use Steam's early access approach to both gauge player interest and to obtain feedback on game features and the balance from procedural generation. The team feared that the stigma around indie games at the time, fueled by industry speculation of an indie apocalypse where too many indie games would have caused a collapse of the video game market in 2015, which never occurred. Motion Twin did not want to, which I don't even remember hearing about that at all.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
I remember there being a lot of indie games at some point in time in my life, but I don't recall anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, maybe if you're more on the developer side, people were
Sure.
a little afraid of it. But Motion Twin did not want to release too early with an early access and an early access game, and made sure the first version available, while only about 30 to 40% complete, had tight combat and gameplay controls that players would appreciate. This allowed the team to address balance issues, as the developers did not want to punish players for a specific style of play and use feedback to address this. This allowed them to design short combat encounters and assure that maneuvering within the game's level itself was not a challenge to the player. Motion Twin planned for the game to spend about a year in early access before its full release, during which time the content was created and incorporated after player feedback on both bug reports and feature suggestions. Lead designer Sebastian Bernard estimated that 40 to 50% of the features in the final game were drawn from feedback during early access.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that list of things.
Of what was in the original one and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you go on their wiki, you can look at every version of. They have like a backlog of all the versions of the game.
Oh, crazy.
So you could probably go back and see like what was in. Like I just skimmed it briefly and it was super long.
Yeah. There's early access
all the patch notes
versions.
from.
They do balancing like all the time. So
yeah, May 2017 version 0.0 was the first early access one. And then they basically had an update every couple months to a couple weeks. And it's like a lot of, new features as they do in early access. And then it doesn't really say what they added between the early access and the release date update. But yeah,
are you looking on the wiki?
I am looking on the wiki. Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of stuff and DLCs they've added to this game is insane.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It does feel a little like I feel like a lot of people aren't going to see it because you have to play so much of it to get it. But
yeah,
I don't know.
that. I see that.
It's the Fortnite of roguelike Castlevania games.
Yeah. Hades, kind of a game that reminded me of this one too. Especially like how the weapons go and kind of develop as you go. And the procedural nature of it also was an early access game. So that kind of
and kind of how you have to play through it multiple times.
Yeah, exactly.
Or like beat it multiple times.
Yeah. So the DLCs, how many DLCs do we have now in this game, Nolan?
I think there's 5. I was trying to find.
I think there's 5.
Here, let me look on Steam. That's probably an easier way to do it.
Rise of the Giant, The Bad Seed, Fatal Falls, The Queen and the Sea, and then I believe the Castlevania one would make 5.
Yeah. There's also a couple soundtrack DLCs, but those don't count. Yeah.
So like you said earlier, you played all the way through the Castlevania one and whipped Dracula's ass.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yes, I did. It was awesome.
So awesome.
It was close. It was a close one.
It was like 2 hours. for that run.
I know.
Do you have full flasks going into Dracula?
I did.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
I was slow rolling for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But he I mean I got to him once when the first stream we were doing, I made it to him and he just mopped the floor with me. And then I played a bunch. I did a lot of grinding. And I got after you beat the Hand of the King, you get his weapon.
Mm-hmm.
And on the run to Dracula, I found like a legendary like roll of that weapon. We had like I was getting like crazy good stuff early on in the run, and I just like ran that the whole time. And later on in the DLC, there's like a little secret section that we kind of stumbled into, and I was worried that it really throws kind of a wrench in your run if you're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it because of that, or if you died, if it would have like ended the run. But we made it through, and it was great. It's a super fun DLC.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Eric, since I don't think you saw any of it, but the Castlevania levels are like intertwined in between the stages. So like,
right.
So like you access the first Castlevania level from the prisoners' quarters. So then you play a Castlevania level, but then it kicks you back out to the regular world map, and you kind of have to snake your way to the next Castlevania level to keep progressing the DLC. So it's like a mix of Castlevania biomes and the regular biomes.
Yeah. And they tie it into the lore too. Like
right.
You have to go to get to Dracula's castle, because his castle's like always moving.
Yeah.
Like you have to go to the clock tower. So it's like they tie it into kind of like the clock tower lore, which is kind of cool. And yeah.
So I think
sweet.
there was 3 or maybe 4 Castlevania stages biomes between the 7 stages. I think 3. Mm-hmm. I think there was 3.
Yeah, you're there's 3, and then there's a like a first level boss fight, and then the Dracula. So there's 2 bosses in the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
and a banging soundtrack.
A banging soundtrack.
It's so good.
I heard it is really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I don't know where I saw this, but I thought it was like Kotaku or something. And I meant to like bookmark it, and I just must have forgot. But there's some article about like the guy who does the soundtrack for this game having like a hard time remaking the Castlevania music.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I want to look it up. I meant to look it up before, but
he had a hard time doing it.
Yeah, I or it was like tricky or something. I don't know. I don't remember why. So,
okay.
So I know that's not very helpful in the moment, but
you'll have to follow up on next month's podcast.
That's right. Yeah,
nice.
It's really cool though, and I mean, I totally recommend picking it up if you're enjoying, the main game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
yeah, I did not know it was intertwined like that. I was curious how they were going to do it, because even finding the DLC in the main game was kind of just like random.
Mm-hmm.
Like that arborarium or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Was just kind of like I found a key, and then it was like at the end of a hallway, and it was just like you can't access this. So
yeah.
I was curious. I thought you could just jump in the DLC for Castlevania because it's such a big thing. I was really wondering about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of we were just kind of always trying to figure out how to get to the next Castlevania level, because you probably did like maybe 3 or 4 Castlevania runs on stream. So we were just like constantly trying to figure out where to do it, and like Nolan was mentioning that crazy side area where we were like, oh my god, if this fucks up our run, we're rage quitting this stream basically.
Yeah, I guess I guess we can just talk about it real quick if you want.
Sure. If you want.
Not Alucard. What's the other guy's name?
Richter?
Belcroft. Yeah, I think that's it. Richter. You find him in a cage in Dracula's castle. You release him, and if you go back to that room, you can enter the cage, and you go into like an old school Castlevania mode, and you play as Belcroft, like the main character, and like you have like the chain whip and everything, and you just do like a random like Castlevania level. It's really cool. So,
yeah, I heard you can only whip the candles if you're that character.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you can, because I have the skin for that character now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you can I don't know if you can do it in the main game or if it's specific to that like little bonus room.
I think it's just the bonus room. And then there's also isn't there the weird save rooms too? Are kind of like little
yeah, they're like the vendor is like this wizard character, and then the collector is the vendor that you sell the cells to is it's like a lady, like a sorceress or something.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's so funny because I was playing Symphony of the Night for the first time ever. Had no idea that there was save rooms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those big like crystal things. I was jamming on all the buttons trying to figure out what to do, and you could just like go to the menu and save at that point. It's like it doesn't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
It just is like there.
It probably maybe it does in the CD insert.
Yeah,
like how those used to be the guide.
It's funny because like that's why we call games Metroidvanias, because of Metroid and the Symphony of the Night and stuff. And so you would think like that would just be like instinctive because we've played so many Metroidvanias, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't like prompt you at all, which is funny.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, Castlevania. Oh yeah, did you mention that like your skills completely reset when you played as that character? Because that was the one thing we were like really. We were like,
right.
Because it was like a whole new weapon. He only had the whip, and then like had to get a double jump, and and the double jump was like backwards. It was like a backwards flip. Remember?
Yeah. So you do have a double jump when you start, but it doesn't like, you can't jump forward. You only jump up, and then you do a backflip. So you can only like jump and then backflip onto ledges.
Huh.
And you don't have a dash or anything. And you do find those eventually, but yeah, like I was like in Dracula's castle, like doing pretty good, and then we get into this mode. I'm like, oh man, like what is this gonna do?
Yeah,
like
so we were worried
if I die in here, I'm gonna be so angry.
Yeah, we were worried he was gonna die and we were gonna lose all the awesome stuff, or that when Nolan finished it, he was gonna be playing as that Richter with the limited skill set. But I was like, who knows? Maybe that's what you need to do to beat Dracula. Like you have to get Richter and get all of his moves, and then you just destroy Dracula. Like we had no idea what was going on. Yes. But then you finished it, and then he was just right back to the prisoner guy.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It just like kicks you out, and it's just like a complete side, like little Easter egg level thing, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's on my list. I gotta go back through and watch your stream.
Yeah.
Keep playing it. I'm behind.
It's fun. The Dracula fight is really cool too. Like
very cool. Very cool.
I kind of melted him in his first form, and then he comes back in this like final form, and yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good boss fight. They should just make a Castlevania game. It'd be so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what
one should just make a Castlevania game.
Yeah. Just quickly, because we kind of brushed over this, but like it's so cool that they were given like the ability to do this with the Castlevania franchise and throwback, and actually able to use the license in such a unique way. But I think that also stems from their history in this game, like tying in other popular indie titles and like paying respects to the games that came before it and what inspired Dead Cells, and how they've tied in a lot of those other franchises, either in costumes and weapons or little sections has been really, really cool to see.
Yeah.
It's interesting because Konami too of late just feels like they don't know what to do with their IP.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And they're just like, they had like a contest, I think a couple years ago too, like submit what you would do with their IP, and like someone won like some game concept they made.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that they were actually able to do this, which is cool.
Mm-hmm. And then people like, it's just like, they're not going to make another Castlevania game.
No, they'd had those like anniversary. They had the anniversary collections,
yeah,
and stuff. And
this is probably the closest anybody's going to get to a new Castlevania game.
Yeah,
maybe, or maybe this is just a tease to something else. But
yeah, I was looking at Motion Twin's website briefly before we got on, and their game list is like Dead Cells, and then it looks like they make a lot of mobile games.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's kind of, is this like a really successful, like I'm just kind of surprised they haven't like really come out with anything like more in depth,
Yeah,
but
don't worry, Nolan. They won a award in 2020, a Pegasus Award for Best Mobile Game and Best Game and Service.
Really?
There you go.
Yeah. But I was gonna say maybe mobile games pay the bills so they can make DLCs for Dead Cells.
Maybe
keep making DLC.
But they've also sold over 5 million copies of this game, so
that's true.
Who knows?
There's also a 7-man team, all co-owners.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is cool. But
Dead Cells was initially supposed to be a follow-up to their browser game Die Tonight, which was a cooperative tower defense game.
Oh.
So there you go. And it turned into Dead Cells somehow. Die Tonight. So what are some things that really like stand out in this game as far as other games that are similar to it, either in like the roguelike? We talked about Hades. What are some other, Metroidvania games? For me, I like just the weapons that you get at the beginning of the run and unlocking the weapons sets and the blueprints, and how you can re-roll your weapons and kind of progress and figure out like really what works for you and the weapon types that you want to use.
Yeah.
Like for me, I wasn't using much of the shields to parry. Mm-hmm. Sometimes early on just to have like something. I typically like to have like either a heavy or a really quick melee weapon and then something with range or like a good grenade. I know Nolan was using a lot of the traps and the shooting skills. Oh, I guess so. I mean, you get 2 weapons and you get 2 skills basically, right?
Right.
That's how it breaks out.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys find anything that like worked for you the best, or anything that like stood out for you in those regards?
Eric?
In terms of loadouts, I would do I did the bear trap things or wolf traps for a long time.
Wolf traps are good, yeah.
And then decided I didn't like those as much, and now I just do the arrows, and then I forget what the spears, 2 spears.
Mhm.
You drop 2 of those down, and then you just evade the whole time, and they'll just attack that the whole time, and you pretty much win.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I tried to experiment with as much of the weapons I had available to me. I definitely ended up going more sword and shield build with like a grenade and like the wolf traps were always like a solid choice.
Hmm.
So just because they can trap bosses as well for like
Yes.
a pretty serious amount of time.
Yeah.
And when I first started playing, I was all about the ice,
Hmm.
like like freezing enemies. But you're still not doing like a ton of damage. So like later in my runs, it was all about like fire and doing like constantly having damage being like dealt to enemies. So
Yeah, I
but,
think
yeah.
the ice ones for me were like it was more like crowd control. Like there was a
Yeah.
balance between I think once you started getting through the stages a little easier, like the builds were a little bit focused on getting through the stage and the boss because some of the skills, I can't think of one off the top of my head, just did nothing for a boss. Like they were not good for a boss. And it's like, okay,
Right.
then I feel like
Yeah.
I'm just wasting a skill slot.
Yeah, for sure.
Which for you, the backpack came in handy. I don't have the backpack in mine yet, but you know, you
Yeah.
can bank an additional skill or weapon
Yeah.
and
It was
pull
really
it out.
nice. Yes. It was super nice to be able to like grab like because I had like multiple legendaries, and
Mm-hmm.
one that I always pick up, I like they're like throwing knives.
Mm-hmm.
I always pick those up if I can, but there was also like the Terraria sword that when you hit enemies, like meteors fall and
Oh, I don't
do
think
like
I've
a
got that
bunch of
one.
damage. Oh, it's really cool. It's a good sword.
That
Um,
one, Nolan, was
mm,
kind of annoying too because it would activate some characters on different levels that would then attack you.
oh,
Like
yeah,
higher
yeah,
up.
because if
Yeah.
the meteors will hit anyone on screen, so it doesn't like necessarily attack the enemy that you're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
But I used that in my fight with the Hand of the King. That was the weapon I used on him.
Ooh.
But yeah, having the backpack is really nice because you can, if you like are trying to do a specific build and you're like, well, do I want to take this or do I want to get rid of my shield now and pick up this stronger weapon? But maybe I want to do a shield build at the end. You can just toss the shield in your backpack or whatever.
Yeah.
So also another thing that I found out about shields is I think if you have them equipped, the status effects are still happening. You're still getting the status effects even if you don't have it like on your
Up.
guy, which is
Oh,
pretty cool.
see.
So
You just don't use a ranged and you just have it like giving you health back or something, or if you dodge stuff or whatever.
yeah, like or if like there's like a skill, like if your sword is doing oil like dropping oil, and then your shield is in your backpack and that's causing enemies to die and catch on fire, like you can like make it so you're basically always getting like the blue flame effect. So
Interesting.
I haven't tried it, but I just saw that as like a tip. And I
What
was
did
like,
you
oh,
guys
man, cool.
think of the weapons that came in pairs? There's a couple of them. There was like the hyper light drifter one, which was like a gun,
Yeah.
which did like very minimal damage, but it tagged enemies for critical hits basically. And
Yeah.
then
And
I
then
wrote that. I did not like that one.
ooh, I liked it.
I liked it, but I never was able to get have a very successful run with it.
Yeah.
So
There's
The,
another pairing one I can't think of.
There's a machete and gun, but that's one weapon.
Yeah. Did you guys unlock any crossbows?
No, not yet.
Those are two-handed weapons.
Mm.
And like I got the explosive crossbow and it shoots like dynamite sticks or something like that. But which was pretty nice. I found those to be pretty good because basically it was like either a range attack or like a heavy attack. You could like hit people with the actual crossbow.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Did you get the Slay the Spire tactic item at all?
what? Oh
That-
yeah,
the
I
deck of
did the
cards?
card. Yeah.
Oh,
can,
I
like,
did.
crazy.
I did. That was
Yeah.
so hard to figure out for me to like
It
wrap my
was.
hand around
Yeah.
what was going on.
You
was a
basically had
cool
three
card.
different things.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that was Slay the Spire tie-in, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
now.
So when you have like basically three options in Slay the Spire or whatever when you're like,
Oh, it was the whale that gave it to you, right?
yep,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mar or something.
Yeah. Now I remember seeing that.
The other one that I think I mentioned earlier, like there was a scepter that you get, which is part of I believe it's part of
the King's Scepter.
yeah.
So
Which-
fun.
It's really fun. I had a hard time with it at first but you like do like a forward dash, and if you hit an enemy,
Oh,
it bounces you up, and if you land on their head, you do critical damage to
Yeah.
them, which
I
is
really-
pretty sweet.
I really like that one. That was fun.
Yeah.
What's that from?
I think it's Shovel Knight actually.
Huh. I kept thinking that's such a like Kingdom Hearts type thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it reminds me of Kingdom Hearts, the big key, the Lockhart key or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Oh man, if this game had a Kingdom's Heart tie-in, that'd be crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the Castlevania weapons, like I got the chain sword. So it's a sword or it's a chain whip. And that's a two-hander as well. So one attack is like the whip and then one is the sword, which is pretty cool.
That was a good one.
So, yeah. There's also some pets that there's a pet sword that you get that it either flies around and attacks people, or you can equip it and it just takes over one of your melee slot or your like weapon slots. And it does a similar thing as the Hyperlight Drifter thing, where it'll mark targets, and if you switch to the melee and hit them, you're doing like massive critical damage to them.
Mhm.
But it seems like really specific, like you would use it for something specific, you know.
Yeah.
But
I like the leg hugger. The leg
hugger was good.
that mutated and grew bigger.
Yeah, I guess it's huge. It's gross looking too.
It is gross.
With
I
all
did
its
not
legs.
get that.
You didn't? It starts out like a little blob basically, and the more damage it does, it grows bigger, and it just mutates. It has like 3 stages. I
saw Nolan get that
thing
to, like,
so many times.
6-legged thing,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Yep. It does so much damage when it's at its final stage, or at least it can.
Yeah.
It can really take care of some annoying side enemies for you. Okay, so I have a complaint about this game.
I got a couple too, Brian. You go first.
I'll go first. When picking up a weapon and recycling it to the same button, there's multiple times where I wanted to pick something up and I accidentally recycled it.
Really?
Same.
That's my only
Yeah.
complaint.
You ever done it with the health on accident? Because that's the worst.
Oh
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
I have done that a couple times for sure. You're just like you're just flowing and you just hold it a little too long
Yeah.
and it just recycles. You're like, dang it.
Yeah. That's my only complaint.
That's your only complaint?
Only complaint. I really like this game a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah. Eric, what do you got for us?
Oh
What's
man,
your
let
beef?
me get my list.
Clear the air.
A list. Oh,
You've,
no.
you've You've missed me for so long. I might as well make a list.
That's true.
No, I got a couple things. I think I complained about this in Discord.
Uh-huh.
Shout out to our Discord. I think the double jump is just not high enough. I think it's like a couple centimeters or a couple pixels too short because
It's like a jump and a half. It's not a full double jump.
He has to like grip onto the edge as opposed to being on top of the edge or on top of the platform.
It's got what is it? Clamber? What's the word?
Clamber. I think that's right.
Clamber. Yeah.
Yeah. Got to clamber right up there.
Yeah. That's my main one, but you get used to it after a while. It's just annoying after playing so many like platform games. It just seems like it's weird compared to those. And then there's like an item that gives you a triple jump. That seems like the triple jump should just be the normal double jump, which was just bugging me.
Yeah.
The triple jump is so tiny.
Yeah.
Like it just does not seem worth it to even get it.
Yeah. I feel like most of Eric's complaints with the game is double jumping. Either it's not high enough or it's not unlocked early enough.
It should be the first thing. You shouldn't even have to unlock it.
I agree. Never lock down
the double jump.
The double jump.
Mm-hmm.
Other complaint number 2. I don't like that you have to play the concierge boss a million times. I'm tired of that boss after doing it so many times. I was like,
skip him.
Yep. I think that's what's cool about like Rogue Legacy 2. you destroy him so quickly once you upgrade stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get your full health. You get your full health back like afterwards. So it's like it's pointless to even do.
Yeah.
Third complaint.
You'd skip the payout though.
Yeah, the payout's great. That's how I get all my vanity items.
The money is good. And with each boss drops like 6 costumes or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They spit out a lot.
I didn't like that
number 10.
You can't check your stats or change your costume mid-run. Wasn't a fan of that.
That one I don't get. I don't know any game that lets you do stuff mid-run.
It's because I switched to that Shovel Knight one and it just threw me off my entire run.
Well, just reset the run.
It was a waste of time. No, you can't reset a run.
Just think of it as a learning experience, Eric.
You never know what he's gonna get. He could have beat the game on that run.
Last complaint.
Okay.
The runs are too long.
They are long, but
they are very long.
This is one of the things that I really, really like about this game is that you can stop mid-run. You know, like a lot of games in this genre aren't as forgiving with saving or stopping. And this game, it's so easy to pick up and go.
I think finding the mid areas between biomes is a great place to just stop.
Yeah.
I just had runs where I were going for like an hour 50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't even getting to the final boss. I was just, it just took forever.
Yeah.
I do have a little bit of a counter thought to that.
Okay.
Because the thing I like about how like big the levels are is that you can really speed run through like pretty fast. Each level only takes about like 5 minutes to get through. Probably a lot quicker than that. I'm just not that fast. But if you're having difficulty like with the moves or like learning the enemy's attacks and stuff, you can really like overpower yourself by like exploring all of the nooks and crannies and get all those like power ups. So it does have kind of like you can kind of set the pace depending on how much you know a biome and how familiar you are with. Like the Castlevania DLC took me a long time because I was going super slow through it and making sure I wasn't like taking too much damage. But like when I'm playing the regular levels now, I'm moving pretty fast through it. So
I was definitely trying to find everything in a biome before I left.
Yeah.
Like all the exits, getting all the power ups and stuff. So that definitely does add a lot of time.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's how I played too. I had to get all the power ups because I didn't know how far I was going to make it in a run, and I didn't want to a big boss and just get owned.
Yeah.
So, did you guys play that big fight that big eyeball thing?
Yeah. Convention. What's his name?
To Vitus.
Yeah. Yeah, I fought him. I beat him every time.
Yeah, super easy.
He was an easy boss.
I don't think I ever ran into him.
He was cool. He's cool too. Look, he looks really cool. But,
where is he?
He's after.
He is in the ancient sewers and then insufferable crypts.
Yeah,
so
that's
he's in
right.
the insufferable crypts.
Yeah, he was a really cool one. The Scarecrow, which I don't think you could. I think that's a DLC boss. He's really fun. He's harder, and then. There's a giant tick boss. Did you guys fight that ever?
No.
So you can actually skip this boss if you one of the things you can unlock is a little mushroom boy.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I found the
Sidekick?
mushroom.
And if you get the mushroom boy sidekick, you can sacrifice the mushroom boy at this idol and it will let you just walk through past the boss fight. And you can just sacrifice it off to the tick god. It's pretty sweet.
Poor mushroom boy.
Yeah. Yeah. He just explodes. It's great. So it's pretty cool.
Nice.
There's lots of like little lots of keys and secrets in this game that I like to find.
Oh, there are, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I said like 10 and a half hours, 11 hours. I feel like I barely have gotten anything done in this game besides have a good time. So
yeah, same.
Can't be too mad about that.
I have not played anymore since I beat Dracula though. I've taken a little break, you know.
I see.
So, but I was going pretty hard.
Yeah. Anything we missed? Anything else you guys want to talk about in the Dead Cells?
I just want to say one more thing about how like you can. There's so much stuff to unlock, and there's so many like mutations and weapon types you can. Brian's face.
Is he gonna sneeze?
Did you sneeze or yawn or something?
I'm trying not to sneeze.
Sorry, I just looked over at the wrong time. You can really, each of your runs can feel way different. Like, and that's really like a really fun part of the game is like trying out different play styles, you know.
And it's as much as you want it to be too. It's not forced. Like,
yeah,
there's all the different routes you can do, and if you're trying to get better at one route, you can basically keep hitting that, which I like.
Yeah. The cool thing too, like when you get the boss cells, like I was surprised with the amount of new enemies that show up in like all of the biomes. So I was like, oh, I was like thinking, well, I know all their moves. I should be okay. And they throw like a whole new like slew of enemies at you. And it just like immediately put me on my back foot. And I was like, okay, like this already feels like kind of fresh. So
yeah,
I'm like 50 hours in and I'm like, all right, now it's time to learn the harder difficulty. So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Eric, you have anything else you want to add?
No, I'm good. That was more than I expected to get out of that game.
That's cool.
No, I meant more of my time, not the actual game. Did not think I was going to put that much time into it.
Yeah, but you didn't get anything out of that time. Is that
no? I got a lot. It was
a horrible experience.
I thought I was only going to get like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start with the wrap up here. Will I finish it? I mean, I'm definitely going to keep playing it and grinding away on it. I think two things. It's I'm still really enjoying it, and I want to play more of it. And even though, like I said, still 10, 11 hours, there's a lot left to do. It's super forgivable on the saves, which is really nice, and it's a great. I don't even think we talked about this very much, but it's a great Steam Deck game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
it's going to be a permanent staple on the old Steam Deck for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I think those three things it's going to keep it in the rotation. Would I recommend it? I would definitely recommend it if you like action platformers. A lot of people talked about this game being super difficult. I don't think it's as difficult as I expected it to be. And I feel like you can get by on just liking the action platforming part. And this could be like your intro to like a rogue like game. To understand.
Definitely a gateway drug to other games I think do this better now.
Yeah, you think so?
That's my take.
I think this game still holds up really, really well for being an earlier roguelike game.
I think it's paved the way to like Rogue Legacy 2. I think Rogue Legacy 2 is amazing.
I really like Rogue Legacy 2, but this game is way like I like this game a lot.
Yeah. I think it's easier to progress in this one in a meaningful way, like unlocking the blueprints and the skills. Like I understand Rogue Legacy, like the building in the tree, and you can kind of put the stuff where you want it, but I think like when you're talking like in Rogue Legacy, like 5% skill bumps here and there, like it's not as meaningful as like getting a weapon you like and leveling that up and experimenting with other weapons and getting the skills, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
they're pretty
there's a lot
different.
There's a lot less random nature to the characters you get at the beginning of Rogue Legacy. I think Rogue Legacy is a more difficult roguelike game to wrap your head around than this game is. And this game can get by on its action platforming merits better than that game can, in my opinion. So yes, I would recommend it. I think it's a fantastic game.
Yeah. I would also recommend it to anyone who likes platforming. Yeah. It's good. I would also recommend Rogue Legacy 2. They're both really good games.
Rogue Legacy 2 is very good.
Yeah. So, not that. I mean, I guess we just played that. Still haven't beat that one yet, though.
I actually didn't go back to it very much.
Yeah, that one's hard.
I don't think I played it when we had the Steam Deck, though. Or at least I didn't have the Steam Deck.
I didn't have a Steam Deck at the time.
Interesting.
I was playing it on my Xbox.
Get that on your Steam Deck now.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. No. Dead Cells is like an amazing game. Like especially if you really like to craft your character's abilities and play with how things can like work together and just to do like OP builds. And I do feel like the most of the weapons I've played around with are fun to use. Like there's not like too many that I'm like, this is garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but there's still like, I think I've unlocked like 50 blueprints and there's still so many left. Like, so
that's crazy.
But yeah, man, great game. Super fun. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
What about you, Eric? Are you going to be playing more of it? You recommending it?
If I got time, I do want to get all the DLC.
Time.
If I can carve out some time, I want to pick up all the DLC.
I would say definitely pick up the Castlevania DLC.
Castlevania stuff. Yeah.
Because it's the most like apparent and
It's the most substantial one.
yeah. I mean the lighthouse, like the lighthouse one, I think also, or like the Queen by the Sea or whatever it is pretty big. But it's just the Castlevania DLC is just so cool. So
yeah, definitely.
And you can kind of play it as like a standalone almost.
Yeah, that's a cool thing about it.
Yeah. But they're all really good. Like they all add a lot of cool biomes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So good game.
Yep. It's been on my backlog for a long time. I'm glad we finally got around to it.
Me too. I'm kind of glad we waited though. I mean, it with like everything that's come out, it's just like was
true.
I don't know, just
more content. You got to have that content.
True.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Next month's game, April, we are going to play Returnal. Woo!
Oh, another
Returnal.
Backlog game.
Another backlog.
Whew.
Well, this
guess,
one hasn't been in. This one hasn't been in the backlog for nearly as long.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's just hasn't been accessible because we don't have, and none of us have PS5s.
Yeah. Returnal is a third-person shooter video game featuring roguelike elements and falling under the psychological horror genre. Set in a futuristic science fiction setting, the player controls Celine Vassos, a space pilot equipped with a suit and armed with high-tech weapons, who is stranded on the alien planet Atropos and stuck in a time loop. After every death, Celine is resurrected following a pattern of traversing foreign environments and combating extraterrestrial entities with growing visions in an ever-changing world. This is developed by Housemarque, published by PlayStation. This was somewhat close to a PS5 launch title. April, so maybe 5 or 6 months after the PS5 came out. This recently came out on Windows and Steam February 15th of this year, which is one of the reasons why, as Nolan mentioned, we can finally play it now. It's got some awards: best game, best action game, couple awards for audio design. Metacritic is currently sitting at an 87. What do you guys have to say about Returnal?
You guys have fun.
Yeah. You don't think your PC is going to be able to crank it out? We should log in and on my Steam account just see if it'll run.
Yeah, let me know.
Curious.
It has a really great benchmark tool. Like even right when you start, like you go through the accessibility, subtitles, and then it like has all these settings. It recommends it to you, and then it'll run a benchmark and tell you exactly what your FPS could be. And you can run back-to-back benchmarks, and it tells you like your FPS gain and CPU usage and GPU usage, like right off the bat without having to do like even dive into the settings. It's pretty cool.
It is really cool. Yeah.
I played this for about 2.5 hours in one sitting. Holy shit. That 2.5 hours went by really quick. It's great. And they added co-op, which it seems like we can get into that super quick.
Yeah.
And I'm already like unwrapping some story.
Oh yeah, man. I'm looking at your achievements right now. Holy
crap. Getting close. I got to the end of the first biome, but the boss beat me. But just the environments and the audio design, it's creepy. Ooh.
It is like a really awesome creepy vibe. Like
yeah.
I think the design deck for the concept for this game is in the movie Alien when they find the eggs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, and they go into like the xenomorph ship. I'm pretty sure they're like, we want to make a game based around this, but also like a bullet hell shooter.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's awesome.
It's cool. It's the first Housemarque game that's like a AAA too, I think.
Yeah.
And you don't get a lot of roguelike AAA experiments very often.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to play this next month and dive into some co-op and stuff. So
yeah, me too. It's gonna be fun.
I didn't even know there was co-op.
Yeah, they added it around the PC release. this year. So there's like a challenge mode now, and
Yeah, I think there's like a tower, like a challenge tower.
yeah, that's the
And then-
challenge tower. Yeah.
And then they added co-op. And that, I think that's when they added you can save.
Oh
can
no,
save wherever.
they added that quite a bit earlier.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The Ascension update, Returnal. Hold on, let me see.
Tower defense game. Got it.
March 21st. Oh, so it was like a year, almost a year later, and then it came out on PC like a year later. So this game's like 2 years old from the original. I was thinking it was only a year old, but time is slipping away from me. Cool.
What is time?
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this bad boy up. If you guys could share the podcast, leave us any reviews on Apple Podcasts or your podcast provider of choice. Remember, if we don't get 5 reviews, we're canceling.
Yeah, we're quitting.
We're canceling.
We're quitting.
The show. Just kidding. Send us any feedback, videogamerashons@gmail.com. You can let us know what you think of the show. Send in any questions about any games we're playing. Also, shoot us some suggestions for future games. We always love to hear that. You can find us on Twitter @VGRations, and then also our Discord server.
Yeah.
You can find on videogamerashons.com. We hang out. We look for games. We talk about the games we're playing.
We talk about a lot of games.
We talk about
It's crazy.
all sorts of stupid stuff.
Do you like stupid shit? Come to our Discord.
Yeah. That's a great sales pitch. Thanks, dudes, for hanging out. Eric, glad you could make it. Glad you didn't have to change any diapers or anything tonight.
I am about to do that right now. That's my next step.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm on duty.
Yeah, great. Duty. Good fun.
Duty.
Good fun.
Good
2
dad
minutes,
joke.
2 minutes past duty.
Yeah. Thanks, chat, for hanging out. And we'll catch y'all next time.
See ya. MP3?
Yeah.